Welcome back to I Filter True podcast by Grace. Another season storytelling podcast book called The Department of Missing Files. Season 1, The File That Should Not Exist. Unnumbered Case. Police records annex 3 months before Grace knows the department exists. Grace, the file has no case number, no intake stamp, and no sender. Supervisor Kent then misfiles it and moves on. Grace, it has my name in it. Supervisor Kent, excuse me? Grace, not just my name, it says I arrive tomorrow carrying the same folder. Supervisor Kent, you are tired, Grace. Grace, this paper is warm. Supervisor Kent. A page slipped loose and lands at Grace's feet. Grace, there is a rule type on the back. Files erase. What they explain. Supervisor Kent, give me that. Grace, you can't read it. Why not, Supervisor Kent? Read what, Grace? The sentence. The office lights failed. When they return, Supervisor Kent is gone and a new door stands where a wall used to be. Episode 2, Archive Door 1111. Archive Door 1111, the lock opens only while the building has no power. Val, if you found the unnumbered file by yourself, that means the department fails to catch it in transit. Grace, I don't know who you are. Val Mercer, Senior Record Investigator. Your option are panic, denial, or follow me before the door seals again. Grace, where is my supervisor, Kent? Val, already reassigned to a version of tonight where you never ask questions. Grace, that is not an answer. Val, it is the only one you are getting before the quarter changes its mind. Inside, the archive cabinet extends further than the building permits. Grace, these folders describe fires that never happened, riots no one remembers, a whole colony removed from maps. Val, missing files are quarantine explanation, while reality produce a truth dangerous enough to spread the department files is out of circulation. Grace, you erase causes. Val, we erase clarity. There is a difference, Grace. Why me? Val, because you read a sentence no one else could see, and because the file named you before we did. Season 3, The Clerk Without a Shadow. Reflection stack. Every metal cabinet shows a different angle of the same hallway. Grace, who is that clerk in the glass? Val, do not wave. If it waves back first, leave immediately. Clerk in reflection. Intake subject confirmed. Grace Holloway records sensitivity. Grace, it knows me. Val, the archive knows everyone eventually. It only introduces itself when it wants cooperation, Grace. Payroll has not employed by the face. Val, some staff are not people. Some are function wearing shapes we will obey. Clerk in reflection, origin, event, generate residue filings. Subject Grace presents at a secondary echo age 9. Grace, age 9? Val, you never told me you had prior contact, Grace. I saw papers folding, from the sky after the church fire in my neighborhood. Nobody believed me. Clerk in the reflection, child witness retained memory after correction. Eligibility established. Grace, you recruited me because I remember something you erased. Val, we noticed you because you survived noticing us. Episode 4, revision notice. Processing room. A printer starts spitting out revision notice with no operator present. Grace, these corrections are changing witness statement retroactively. Val, that means their original explanation escaped containment. Grace, my personnel file is in here. Val, you do not have a personnel file yet, Grace. Apparently, I do now. It says I was observed after the Bale Street fire. It says contact sensitivity inherited through unsolved grief. Val, Grace, Val, Grace, my mother did in that fire. Val, then the department did not pull you up from nowhere. It has been following the damaged lines for years, Grace. So all this time, every impossible job posting, every vanished interview, every strange record requested was you, Val? Recruitment, observation, and risk assessment? Grace, you turned my life into a long application process, Val. We needed to know if you will run from the truth or read it closely. Grace. File mark origin, episode 5. Scene vault room, a sealed folder labeled origin unlocked when Grace touches it. Why did it open for me? And why? Val, because it was waiting for the person named in the first spill. Grace, spill what? What are you talking about, Val? The files begin during the first contact event. Something beneath reality responded to being explained by shedding paper instead of language. Every page described what could happen if the wrong truth spread too fast, Grace. And the department was built to collect those pages, Val, to hide them, classify them, and when necessary, recruit people who could read them safely, Grace. It says here, I am both subject and investigator, Val. Welcome to the department, Grace. This last line is still typing. Val, read it, Grace, read it. We never missing the file. They were hiding us. The missing file were born from an older contact event. Grace was recruited because she could still read what reality has already tried to erase. The truth that would wound us early can also become a doorway to understand the system that shapes us. Season 2, the archive that predicts you. Department records floor. Rain rattling the high windows. Grace, this file was printed tomorrow. In the future, Val. Then tomorrow has always been processed, Grace. I joined this place because of one possible file. Not there are bleeding on the printer's tray, Val. This is how recruitment usually feel in retrospect. Grace, it says a bus will crash at 8th and Mercer. 12 injured. 1 fatality, Val. Names, please, Grace, names. None. Just a note in red ink. Intervention. Increasing. Spray it. Val. This is not a warning. This is a dare, Grace. We are not sitting here while a file threatens people, Val. Every time the archive predicts something, the act of reading it becomes part of the routes to it, Grace. Then we changed the route. Val, we tried that because you arrived. The archive filed every failed rescue and labeled them correction, Grace. I'm going anyway, Val. Ren. Then you're taking a radio field. Last time a forecast opened, the stairwell started repeating itself, Grace. Ren, how long were you standing there, listening to our conversation? Ren, how long? Ren Abadi Boyo? Long enough to hear the future threatened public transit. Val, she monitors pattern drift. Ignore her tone, not her numbers. Ren possibility just moved. The file is no longer centered on the intersection, Grace. Where did it move to, Ren? Where did the file go? Another city. Some handwriting, some Cassidy geometry. Grace. Same handwriting as the original spill, Ren? Yes. Whatever started the file is active again, Val. Then take the original page with you. If the wording changes, run, Grace. I mean run. Whatever started the file is active. Okay. Grace, you say that like the paper is alive, Val. In this building, paper is just another way for the future to breathe. Episode 2, Moving Calls, Missing Calls. Halcyon City, Old North Precinct, a police station slated for demolition. Officer Adin, the light offer flicker in evidence hall, tells me that the bad wiring. Sergeant Morelli, bad wiring does not whisper case number. Officer Adin, you keep saying that like this building is haunted. Officer Morelli, I'm saying it because your cold case file just slid off a locked shelf by itself. Officer Dean, what I saw, and nobody was there. The Mara Street files has been dead for 6 years. Dispatcher Neil, over radio, North Precinct confirmed whether anyone is in the archive room. B, motion sensor saying yes, camera says no. Someone please answer me. Officer Dean, Neil, stop joking. Dispatcher Neil, over radio, I'm not joking, Adin. Also, your victim board just lit up like someone touched it. Sergeant Morel, Adin, why is your file open to the witness sketch page? Officer Adin, I did not open it. Sergeant Morelli, then who drew the new face in the margin? Officer Dean, I did not open it. And why is your file open again on the sketch page? I'm asking you again, Officer Dean. Then who drew the new face in the margin? Officer Dean, I'm asking again. That face was in a dream last night, Officer Dean. Department records floor. Grace listened to patch police frequencies. The crash would still happen, but not where the file says. Val, that means we displaced it, not stopped it. Grace, there is a second report here. Same damage, same injuries, but the causes field is blank, Val. Blank files are contaminated breaches, Grace. So this is how the missing file begins. First, a cause goes missing, and then the department builds a drawer around it. Val, close. First, reality panics. Then we call it procedure. What procedure? Val, Grace said. A disaster without an origin should be impossible, Val. Impossible things are what this office promotes to management. Grace, look at the margin note. Cause remove under detective or directive. Who is the directive? Val, no signature. Grace, there is never a signature where the department edits reality directly, Val. If someone removes the cause, then the event is looking for a new explanation. Grace, you make it sound hungry, Val. Missing calls attachment themselves to a nearest story people are willing to believe, Val. Ren, Halicone Silly has a live disturbance in a dead precinct. Same pattern, signature out of blank calls events. Grace, patch me through, Ren. Patch me through. Officer Aden, over the radio. Whoever is on this line, identify yourself. I am Grace. Someone trying to stop this station from becoming a footnote in a file. Officer Den, that is not how normal people introduce themselves, Grace. Val, he sounds promising. Grace, then we find the original cause before the city invents a worse one, Val, or before the archives write one of us out of the scene. Episode 3, The Drawer 12 Breeze. Halicone sitting evidence basement, water stains crawled across the ceiling like maps. Officer Den, Sergeant, the station keeps replying, the night of the murder. Sergeant Morelli, replay Howl. Officer Den, the same phone rings every 13 minutes now. No line attached to this phone. Same desk fan start turning on again at the same time. Same hallway door slams at the same time in this precinct. Sergeant Morelli. And each time you know it's about to happen before it does. Officer Aden. I'm noticing patterns, Officer Aden said to Sergeant Morelli. Aden, you said the victim Nicholas was hidden under towel before we lift the towel. Before we even lifted the towel. Officer Den, I guess it was lucky guess. It was just a lucky guess, Sergeant Morelli. Sergeant Morelli, you are running out of normal explanation. Grace, did the cabinet just inhale? I just seen a cabinet just inhale, Vale. Do not open drawer 12. If it is breathing on its own, let it be. Grace, you could have said that sooner, Val. You asked after it started, Grace. The metal is warm. There is condensation on the handle. Val, then the missing cause is nestling inside of it. Nestling? What is you talking about, Val? Nestling? This police precinct is haunted. Val, Carlson removed from the record needing somewhere to wait. Drawer 12 stirs unassigned reasons. Grace, this is the worst sentence I have ever heard in this building. And this is competition. Door 12 open. I can clarify. Grace, wait a minute. Did that drawer just talk to me, Val? Yes, that means it thinks you are authorized. Grace, I am not doing this tonight in this haunted precinct. If I had told somebody what I believe that a talking drawer start talking to me as it opened up, Val, yes, that means it thinks you are authorized. I am not, Val. I'm not. Drawer 12, you were yesterday, Grace. Ren, I have crossed a city residence. The drawer is sinking with the police station now, Grace. Sinking with what exactly, Ren? Sinking what, Ren? Sinking to what exactly? What is you talking about, Ren? With an officer who cases file keeping receiving imagines before evidence exists. Aden, Grace called. Aden, can you hear me? Are you listening to me? Aden, Officer Aden, over the radio. How do you know my name? Val, because your station and our archives are sharing a pulse. Officer Den, that sentence should not mean anything, and somehow it does, Grace. Open it. Val, this is not caution. This is curiosity wearing your face. Grace, same results. Open it. Open it. Just open it. Open the drawer. Open the drawer, Val. Drawer 12 causes of mercy. Events removed to prevent cascade belief. Replacement pending. Subject Grace under review. Why is my name attached to a replacement cause? Val, I don't get it. Since I came into this precinct, everything is about me, centered around me. Why? Val, because the archive is considering making you this reason. Why me? Why I'm the reason? Drawer 12, second subject identified. Officer Aden, sensory access emerging, awareness incomplete. Officer Den over the radio, sensory what? Grace, Val, what is it saying? Sensory what? Why? Sergeant Morrell, Aden, sat down. Officer Den, no, I'm done sitting down. While my dead case started talking back to me? No way, Officer Morale. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Episode 4, the file that corrects reality. Halcyon City, interrogation room. One wall mirror, one buzzing light, no suspect. Officer then enters. I keep seeing the victim cross the hall in a reflection like a dead ghost walking live in this precinct. Sergeant Morrell, there is no hall between that mirror. Officer Den, I know. That is the problem. Janitor Bale, this station was built over a buried record court. Papers never left. Voices did not either. Officer Den, how are you inside a locked interview room? Janitor Bale, some ways old evidence get around locks. It remembers where it belongs. Sergeant Morelli, ma'am, you should not be down here, ma'am. Janitor Bale, neither should that mirror, but here we all are. Grace, I found a green folder with no tag. Val, put it back, Grace. Too late. I open it itself. Val, the reality is about to become argumentative. Grace, the hearing scene says correction file. Every line is a statement of fact, followed by a revision. Val, please read on, Val. The bus driver falls asleep. Revise. The traffic signal failed. Revise. No collision occurred. Revise. Collision required for continuity. Val, close it now. I cannot, Grace said. This text is still changing. Val, that file does not record reality. It negotiates with it. Val, then the whole department is not investigating events. It is editing which explanation survive. Val, you are understanding the job too quickly, Grace. You are catching on. It's just not a new line. Subject position near abnormally to test adaptive authorship. Wren, another line just printed. Halcyon City, witness to receive preview images through contact with unsolved dead. Grace, that is not a preview. That is clairvoyance. Wren, Officer Aden, over the radio. I'm standing right here. I'm waiting. Grace, Val, Sergeant Morelli. I'm waiting, and I will prefer a less dramatic words. Janitor Bell, gift is the old word. Burden is the newer one. Officer Aden, I do not have a gift, Janitor Bell. Janitor Bell, then explain why the mirror shows tomorrow's crime scene when you look into it. Officer Den. Val, that means the archive does not merely predict you, it is rewriting around you. Officer Den. Grace, around me or through me? Val, I'm not talking to you, Grace. In this office, those become the same thing if you stay long enough, is what I mean. Officer Den, the reflection changed. There's a street sign, Calder Avenue, a red door. Someone is crying for help. Grace, Calder Avenue is not in your file, Officer Den. It is now, Grace. Forecast subject, Grace. Calder Avenue, another city, block under police tape and cold rain. Officer Den arrives. This is the red door from the mirror. Sergeant Morrell, we got here before the call came in. Officer Den, no, we got here because the call came in early to us. Remember, Officer Arelli? Grace over the radio. Aden, can you hear me? Officer Aden, whatever you see next, say it before you doubt it. Officer Den, second floor window. Child hiding in the laundry room. Suspect has a knife. Left hand limp in the right leg. Officer Morelli, move. Move immediately. Dispatcher Neil over the radio. Patrol units confirmed. Patrol units confirmed. Exact match. Aden, how do you know? Officer Den, I don't know. Janitor Bell, this is the first honest sentence every seer sees. Grace, there is a sealed envelope inside the correction file. Please tell me it does not have your name on it, Grace. Grace, it has my handwriting on it, Val. This is some weird stuff, Val. This precinct is getting weirder and weirder every day. Val, that is worse, Grace. That is worse. It says you are reading this. The archive has moved from prediction to selection. Selection? What is it talking about? Val, read the rest. Grace, do not try to stop the next incident. The next incident is you. Who is it talking about? Who is you? Val, it means you, Grace. It's talking about you. Grace, there is more. Such a becomes stable point once she accepts that the archive keep future by discarding explanation. Val, the whole season has been an evaluation. Evaluation for what, Val? Grace said. Not just an evaluation, a recruitment, Val. For what? For what? Val, what is it for what? Grace, for the role that decides which version of tomorrow is allowed to file itself. Val, then the forecast was never about the bus, Grace. I guess not now. I'm figuring that out. The forecast was about whether I will believe the archive before I believe my own eyes, Val. And do you, Grace? I believe it wants something. I don't know yet whether the court that counts as a destiny or management is what I'm trying to figure out. Officer Aden over the radio. Grace! Grace, can you hear me? This is Officer Den. Pick up. The child is alive. The suspect is in custody. Before there is something written on the apartment wall. Grace, Officer Den, go ahead, read it. Please read it. What it says. Officer Den, secondary subject retained. Val. So the archive just recruited a cop in another city. Officer Den, recruited for what? Grace, I was hoping you could tell me, Val. Unknown voices over intercom. Forecast accepted. Subject Grace retained. Unknown voice over the radio. Officer Den pending. Grace, tell me what that was. Tell me that wasn't a recording? Or was that actually somebody over the loudspeaker talking? Val, if it were, I would be worried less. Because at least it is talking and giving us some explanation on this. The archive forecasts are new fallouts from the origin spill, and Grace and Adin are being selected as a compatible witness rather than ordinary employees. Season 3, the case removed from Earth. Transfer off-world. Department Transit Vault. A freight elevator descend past floor not listed on any map. Grace, this elevator has been moving for 6 minutes now. And we have passed a whole lot of floors and it has not stopped to the floor that I want to go to, Val. That means we're passing geographic 3 minutes ago. What are you talking? What? What are you saying, Val? This elevator is not an elevator? Grace, season 1 gave me the door. Season 2 gave me the pattern. If season 3 answer where the files came from, I am not sure I want it, or want to accept it, or even want to go to where it's trying to take me. Officer Den, I thought you were joking when you said the department had a transfer floor. Val, Ren, we did not say transfer floor. We said transfer jurisdiction. Jurisdiction? What? Officer Den said to Ren. That is somehow worse. The case file changed again. Mercer is gone. Halicon is gone. And now it says reassigned beyond terrestrial authority. Terrestrial authority? Officer Den. There is an upstairs to this place. Then someone upstairs decided Earth mishandled it. Ren, not in the emotional sense. The elevator voice. Arrival. Orbit. Record. Annex. Arrival. Orbit. Record. Annex. Officer Adin. Orbit. Grace stayed calm. I'm not saying one word because it gets weirder and weirder as we go on with this night. Officer Adin, I'm calm. My definition of possibility is just under balance revision, Grace. Episode 2, Planet Classified. Orbit Record Annex. Windows. Show stars arranged in filing grids. Activist Soul. Soul Ardent. Chief Archivist. Earth Branch. Identity. Identified. Active constraints or contradictions. Grace Holloway, provisional subject. Val, record analyst. Ren pattern observer. Officer Adin, secondary subject pending. Officer Adin. This title is still upsetting. Activist Soul, accepted. Your case crossed planetary classification when it touched 3 timelines and 1 dead station. Officer Den, we are just saying that's casually now, right, Grace? What is this place, Den? Where the hell we at? Arkansas, the annex where worlds submit incidents too large for local weather law or regions. What? Grace said. Repeat that again. Then tell me plainly, who wrote the first file? Ren, I knew it. Earth is not headquarters. It is an intake. Val, please do not sound pleased about that, Ren. Grace, what was a reassign off-world? Activist Soul. A colony removed. Officer Den. Removal as any evacuation. Activist Soul. Removal as an explanation deleted. The colony still exists. It has simply been denied history again. Grace, so that means you erase an entire world from records? What? Activist Soul, no. We hid it from the species that keep trying to destroy it by understanding it incorrectly, the world that they live in. Activist Soul, the first file was not written by a human hands. They participated out of first contact, like ash after fire. Your department merely learned how to stack them. Episode 3, Orbiting Complaints Box. Complaints intake ring. Metal clutters circle a chamber full of sealed messages. Officer Adin, there are thousands of complaints, slips floating in zero gravity. Val, every branch office filed protests when reality is added without notice. Complaint box. Ticket 741 Delta. 741 Delta. Earth branch objects to reassignment grounds. Officer Adin, the complaint box just talked again, Grace and Val and Ren. Did you hear that? The complaint box just talked again, like the drawers in the file cabinet at the dead precinct station. Grace, at this point, I'm relieved when objects announce themselves first. I'm okay with it now. I done got used to it now, Officer Adin, and you should too. Compliment box. Attached witness statement from colony residents. Ren. It is printing a transcript. Witness transcript. We watched the sky change labels. Our children forgot the names of our moon before breakfast. Officer Den. That does not read like a relocation. That reads like someone was erased while alive. Grace and Val, do you understand? Val, which means the annex is not merely filing anomalies. It is laundering memories. Grace, there is another page. It names carrier who's tried to stop the deletion. Officer Den, who then, Grace? Who? A witness from another colony, status missing, presumed transferred. Complaint box. Appealed, denied. Proceed to living testimony chambers. Grace, Officer Den, and Val. Officer Den, I officially missed the haunted police station. I'd rather go back to the haunted police station anytime, Officer Den said to Val and Grace, than to be here. At least I can deal and handle it. Episode 4, Witness from Another Colony. Testimony chamber. The room projects a shoreline under two moons. Witness Lara. Do not step closer. The chamber is reading your assumption. Grace. Are you alive? Witness Lara. Alive. I am alive. Transferred and very tired of being categorized as unstable evidence from this God-forsaken place. Officer Den, your colony was deleted from the maps. Witness Lara, not deleted, just folded away. Earth found a signal under our ocean and kept trying to explain it as a machine. Each explanation woke more of it. Val, so the Onyx buried the colony to keep Earth from translating the signal. Witness Lara, yes, exactly. Then your branch keep asking better questions. Grace, why bring us here? Why? Witness Lyra, because you and the officer are both showing adapted sight where you can see the future. Officer Den, I'm not calling it that. I don't care what you said about seeing a gift for seeing a clairvoyance or whatever. I'm not calling it that. Witness Lyra, you see events before they settle a den. You seize files before they admit what they are. Together, you both make the archive nervous. Ren, that is consistent with the pattern drift. A file that we worked on years ago. Officer Den, pattern drift sounds fake when you say it calmly, Officer Ren. Witness Liar, Earth was never a neutral branch. It was the first containment site. Your species keeps mistaking quarantine walls for horizons. Grace, then the oldest case was never Mercer or Hallecan City or this colony. Witness, no. Lycra said, the older case was the world that kept reaching outwards before it understood what it has already reached in. Episode 5. Earth was filed first. Central Ledger Dome. A fear of records rotates above a black floor. Archivist Soul. Final disclosure requires 2 witnesses and 1 unsteady truth. Grace. We have all 3. Officer Den speaks for yourself. Grace. I am almost panicked with a badge now. Ledger Sphere. Case 0. Planetary destination Earth. Filing date predates human administration. Val, predates human administration? What is it talking about? Ren, it means the department was watching before we had language for being watched. Grace, read the charge, please. Ren, read it. Ledger Fear. Persistent anomaly. Civilization repeatedly attempts contact with quarantine intelligence through myth, science, and grief. Recommendation, maintain partial ignorance to preserve continuity. Officer Den, why are the cold case? What is it and why? Is all I want to ask. Witness Lyra, you always were, Officer Den. Grace Den, every missing file, every erased cause, every hunting was contaminated around us. Val, humanity was never the investigator. Humanity was the evidence locker. Officer Den, and my visitors, and my visions, and my dreams. Ledger's fear, emerging across access trait. Secondary witnesses often develop anticipatory perceptions. When case 0 destabilized. Officer Den, that is a terrible way to learn that I am psychic, that I have a gift. Grace, psychic or not, now we know what this department protects. Ledger Fear, correction, you now know what it protects from you. Officer Grace, Officer Den, and Val. Humanity was never assigned the oldest case. Humanity was the original containment site, and the first file was Derbis, from contact older than record history. When we search for the origin of a mystery, we may discover we were never outside in it the first place. Case reopened. Second forward, the clerk who filed 2 realities, duplicate ledgers. Earth branch record chamber. Two identical ledgers sets open under opposite lamps. Grace. There are the same case number. Val. Read the first outcome, Grace. As I always say, read the first outcome before assuming. Grace. Victim survived. Witness statement verified. Case resolved. Val. And the second, Grace? Continue reading. Victim deceased. Witness recounted. Case unresolved. Officer Dean. This is not a contradictory paperwork. This is two different lives. Rand. The branch is splitting. We are looking at a duplicate reality. See page. Officer Dean. You say impossible things like you are filing parking tickets. Officer Rand. And they all laugh. Grace. Again. Look at the witness signature. Officer Den, it matches the name I heard in the precinct walls back then, years ago. Grace, before anyone found the body. Officer Den, I heard a name that day. I remember. That does not make me supernatural or I have psychability powers, Officer Den said. Grace, no. Seeing outcomes before they settle, it does, Officer Den. It puts you into like clairvoyance and psychic abilities. You seeing things before it happens. Officer Den, do not call it that. I'm keep telling you, Grace. Do not call it that no more. I don't believe in that. Don't call it that. Episode 2, second Grace. Reflection corridor, mirror line both walls, but only one side copies movement correctly. Officer Den, why is your reflection late, Grace? Because that is not my reflection, Officer Den. The second Grace. Finally, someone here can tell the difference. Officer Grace. There are two of you, Officer Den. Grace, there are two of you. The second Grace. There are two of everyone. Most branches just work harder to hide it. Grace. Who are you? Who are you? Trying to pretend to be me? Second Grace. The version of you that told the truth sooner. Officer Den. I would like to leave this hallway now because now I'm seeing double Grace. Second Grace, you cannot leave what you refuse to see, Officer Wren, Officer Den, and Val. Officer Den, I'm seeing too much already in just a few couple of seconds since I've been here, and I'm done. I want to leave. Second Grace, not enough. She knows what you are and still keeps using gentle language. Stop it, Grace said. Stop it. Just stop it. Second Grace, then you say it. Tell him the visions are a gift. Officer Den, do not use that word again about visions are a gift. How many times I'm going to tell you that? Second Grace. Grace, why does the word make you angry, Officer Den? Why? Because when I was a kid, people used words like gifts and chosen and blessed, while bad things kept happening in my house and nobody stopped them. That's why I don't believe in visions or gift of clairvoyance. Second Grace, there it is. Episode 3, Tuesday repeated. The break room. The same coffee pot clicks on for the third time. The wall clock refused to move past 8:17 a.m. Val, we have looped the same 7 minutes for 4 times in a row. Has anybody noticed that? Ren, correction 5. I didn't notice it earlier each cycle. Officer Dan, because the room changes before the rest of you see it. That's why you don't recognize it. Grace, then trust that. Officer, I don't trust evidence, Grace. Grace, your evidence is arriving early. Officer Dan, that is not evidence, Grace. That is the kind of thing my mother used to call a sign right before she told me to pray harder and stay quiet as a child. That's what that means, evidence. Again, Grace said. Again, Grace said. Officer Dan, I do not believe in God. I do not believe in fate. I do not believe in spirits handling out assignments. I watch adults bury pain under religion until it turns into harm. Val, no one here is asking you to worship anything, Officer Dan. Grace, I'm asking you to describe what happened without using the people who failed you as a measuring stick for your life and your outcome. Officer Dan, easy for you to say, Grace. No, it's not, Officer Dan. Ren, loop stabilizing, decided quickly. Grace, well, fine. Then I will be plain. You have a psychic gift, Dan, whether you like it or not. Officer Dan, no, I have trauma and patterns recognition is what it's called. Grace, you have a pattern recognition and culture. You have a gift when you know the coffee mugs falls before gravity makes it. It's mine. The mug slipped from the counter. Dan catches it before it moves. Dan, I hate that you saw that, Grace. You make me sick. I hate when you see things and try to correct me. Episode 4. The fire mocked true and false. Interview room. A file on the table is stamped true on one side and false on the other side. Grace began to sit down quietly. Officer Dan, that sounds official. I do not like it at all. One bit. Grace, well, good. Listen anyway, Officer Dan. A gift is not proof of God. It is not proof that your childhood suffer has a purpose. It is not permission for anyone to make you holy against your will, Dan. Officer Dan, then what is it, Grace? An ability, dangerous, useful, and yours. Nothing more sacred than eyesight. Nothing less serious than fire. Officer Dan, you make it sound mechanical, Grace. I'm trying to make it survivable, Officer Dan. When I was 10, I started hearing things before they happened. My grandmother said heaven was touching me. My father said it was demons. My mother said if I keep talking like that, people would take me away. So I learned to shut it off or pretend I did or it did not happen. Grace, you survived by refusing the story they wrapped around your experience, Dan. Dan, I survived by not believing any of them anymore. Grace, good. Keep that part. Lose the ideal that disbelief will protect you from what is real. Remember that, Dan. And if I accept it, Grace, then you get to define it before the department does, Officer Dan. The file changed. Oh boy, here we go again. Read it. Officer Dan. Witness recognized traits without surrendering agency. Grace, that may be the first kind sentence this place had ever written in a while. Episode 5, Clerk with Two Shadows. Main Archives, Owls. A clerk approaches under flickering lights, casting two shadows in opposite direction. Clerk Mar, one of you belongs to the file future And one of you belongs to the corrected one. Val, we really need better security around here. Clerk Mar, security is what caused dispute. Val, Grace, which futures takes a den? Clerk Mar, the one where he refuses the gift because easier to manage. The one where his name, it becomes harder to contain. Officer Den, what? I'm standing right here, remember? I'm not visible, and I hate both versions of that sentence. Clerk Mar, hatred is acceptable. Denial is only temporary. Officer Den. The second Grace from the far out. Choose quickly, Officer Den. Choose quickly. Ren. Two realities convergence and the same witness. Grace. Again, I'm not asking you to believe in miracles. I'm asking you to believe in yourself before this place writes you as property. That's all I'm saying, Officer Den. Officer Den, I still don't believe in anything spiritually. Grace. Fine, then, Officer Den, then believe in the evidence. You keep seeing what comes next. You keep hearing what no one else hears. This is your gift, whether you pray about it or not, Officer Den. Accept it. Officer Den, gift is still not my favorite word. Grace, keep arguing with the word. Just stop arguing with the fact, Officer Den. Clerk Mar, statement accepted. Officer Den, then here is my statement. I don't belong to God, ghosts, or this department. But whatever disability is, it is not mine. Yes, it is, Grace. It is yours. You need to claim it. Well, since you want to say it that way, Grace, it is mine. You satisfied now? You happy? The two shadows behind Clerk Mar collapsed into one. Val, I think he's just resolved the split by settling boundaries. Grace, good. About time, Den. We are going to need that skill of yours. The twist. The split realities were not accident by management tools, and a Den refusal to let the department define his gift collapse the version built to contain him. Healing begins when we name what the real without letting old wounds define its meaning for us. Case reopened again. Season 5, department closed case archives. And some cases are active also. Closure notice. Episode 1. The department main hall, Chief Lenore Voss stands at the head of the table, holding a single sheet of paper. The overhead lights flicker once. Every drawer in the room clicks shut on its own. Chief Voss, reading from the notice level and carefully. Affected immediately. The end of this quarter, the Department of Missing Files is formally closed by order of department. Budget consolidation. All active cases are to be transferred to general records. All personnels are reassigned pending review. Do everybody understand what I just read to them? Chief Voss said. Ren, there are 46 cases mid-process. We can't transfer a case that doesn't fit our general category. Chief Voss, that's how they end up here in the first place. Chief Voss, I know that, Ren. Don't you think I know that? Val, who authorized this anyway? Chief Voss, the authorization line reads Director, Office of Continuity. I checked. The office does not have a current director. The signature is a title with no name behind it. Grace, So a department with no director closed a department with no director. That don't make any sense, Chief Voss. You're not making any sense at this point. Chief Voss paused. That is an inaccurate summary, yes. Or it could be an accurate summary. Yes, again. The intake tray by the door produced a soft mechanical sound. A new case file lands in it. Everyone looks at it. No one moves. Wren, it's still filing. Grace Val, Chief Officer. Again, can you see it? It is still filing, and nobody is over there. It is filing. Val, maybe it didn't get the memo. Everybody laugh. Episode 2, Found an archive key. Activist soul level. Grace arrived with the master key ring, intended to hand it over as required by the closure protocol. Soul is already at the shelf reorganizing. Grace, Saul, I need to hand in these keys. Saul, without turning around, hand them to who, Grace? Grace, Saul, to you for discommission. Saul, I don't have a discommission function. I'm an activist. I file things. The archives has not acknowledged the closure order. Grace, the archive doesn't acknowledge anything, Saul. It's a filing system, remember? Saul, turn away gently. It is, because this morning I found 3 new cases jacket on the intake shelf. They were addressed, dated, and stamped with today's date this time. There is no assign to file incoming cases. No one has been here since last night. Grace looked at the jacket. The top reads, Case 5-1, Origin of Closure Order. The second case, 5-2, Location of Acting Director. The third is blank except for her name on the address line. Grace quietly, it's filing cases about itself? I don't understand this. I don't understand this file. Saul had walked away. Before he walked away, he said, that has been true since the beginning. We only just started noticing it, Grace. Since the day that you arrived. Episode 3, Director Unknown. The records annex. Wren has pulled 2 decades of internal memos. She has laid them across the floor in chronicle order. They span in room. Wren, every department decision for 20 years was co-signed by a figure listed as unknown director. Hiring decisions, case escalation, budget approval, the closure order itself. Val, someone was in the building for 25 years and we never saw them? How weird. It doesn't make sense, Val said. Wren, not in the building, in the paperwork. The signature is a function, not a person. Remember, the system is not a person. It appears whatever someone with authority is needed. And no one with authority is present at this moment, at this time. Grace, couching to look at one of the older memos. The handwriting on the early ones. Wren, I know. Grace, that looks like what? Wren, your handwriting, Grace. Yes, I have so run a comparison. 87% match on that letter formation is mine. Grace was a child when there was written. These were written. I was a child when these was written. Wren carefully. Which is the part the department seems to consider a minor detail. The memo at the far end of the row is dated next year. It is already signed by the unknown director. Episode 4, Earth Branch opens. An address in the condemned district, 3 blocks from the official department building. Grace and Adin stand outside a door that should be boarded up. It opened. The light inside are on. The carpet is very clean, as if somebody has cleaned it overnight. Adin, I'm reading the space as occupied. Has been for a long time, but we don't see anybody present. Grace, the building was condemned 4 years ago, Adin. Do you remember that? When they condemned the building? Adin, the building doesn't know that, Grace. Inside, 3 desks, a filing cabinet, trays, both full, a clock on the wall showing the correct time. Clerk Marr sitting at the center desk reviewing a folder. Clerk Marr looking up as surprised. Oh, wow! You're later than the intake predicted. Grace and Adin. Grace, Marr, you were reassigned. Clerk Marr, I was? I found the reassignment notice here and continue. Adin, how long have you been working from this location? Clerk Marr. Clerk Marr checking her ledger. Let's see. About 2.5 years, give or take. The department needed somewhere to continue while the official building was under review. So it found somewhere. Grace, the department found a building. Clerk Val. Clerk Val, more precisely, Grace, the department found a building, staffed it, and did not tell the official building, which is retrospect may have caused some of the budget confusion at that time. Adin, to Grace quietly, this institution is running a shadow version of itself, Grace. Have you noticed that? Grace, I think it always has been, Adin. We just didn't notice it. Episode 5, Department Closed Cases Active. The official building in of the founder before closure. Only Grace remained. The promotion paper sits on her desk, unassigned. It lists her name, her title as director, and the date. The authorizing signature line still reads unknown director. Chief Voss appears in the doorway with her coat on. Well, I'm about to leave. The building hands over at midnight. You should go. Grace, if I sign this, I'm accepting a promotion from a source I can't verify to a position in a department that officially closed. Chief Voss, yes, Grace. That's how things work. Grace, that is not rational, Chief Fowl, at all. It doesn't make sense. Chief Fowl sitting across from her. Well, Grace, when I took this job, I was handed a folder of 32 cases that has no explanation, no resolution, no place else to go. I was told the department exists before some things need to take place to be held without being discarded. I have been holding that for 15 years, Grace. Now I'm handing it over to you now, finally. The institution doesn't need a building to exist. It needs someone willing to carry it. And that is you, Grace. Grace, what if I'm not ready, Chief Fowl? Chief Voss. Chief Voss, the unknown director signed off on you before you were born, Grace. You were born for this job. It was in your destination. It was in your destiny. I said they have time to consider it. Grace, pick up the pen. Grace, pick up the pen, Chief Fowl said. She does not sign it yet. She sets the pen down and takes the folder of 32 cases from Voss' hands and instead. Grace, I'll sign it in the morning, Chief Voss, from the other building. Chief Voss nodded. Okay, Grace. Okay. And I'm going to say call this a good night. I'll see you in the morning. The lights of the office building turned off one by one. The intake tray proceeded one last soft sound. A case file landed in it. The address line says, Case 5 Final, the director. The closure order was filed by the department itself, because the department knew the only way to transfer authority properly was to force the question of who would choose to continue. The unknown director was never a person, it was a role waiting to be claimed. Institution does not survive because of buildings or budget. They survive because someone at the end of every official ending picks up the remaining files and keep going. Transition in progress. Season 6, director position from unknown source. Appointment letter without sender. The condemned branch morning. Grace sits at the desk that is now hers. A second envelope has appeared on a promotion paper. Cream color, no return address, the wax seal already broken from the inside. Grace reading out loud. Director Holloway, your appointment is confirmed, effective the date you choose to accept it, which you did or will do, depending on your position and the sequence. The department thanks you for your continued service. Val arrived at the door. Knock, knock. Grace. Continue service, Val said. You have been director for less than 12 hours, Grace. The letter predicts I accepted years ago, Val, which I have no knowledge of. Val, does it say who sent it, Grace? No agency, no signature. The original office is Office of Continuity. Position currently unfilled. Val, that is the office that issued the closure order. Remember, Grace? Yes, I know, Val. Val, so the office that closed that department, also the office that appointed you to reopen it, Grace? That doesn't make sense. Grace sat in the letter down. And there is no currently in that office. An empty title is making institutional decision while binding authority. Have you noticed that, Val? Val sitting down slowly. Yes, I do, Grace. This is the most concerning thing you have said since the off-world complaints. Grace, I'm treating that as a compliment to how far we have come, Val. Season 2, case still active. The pattern office late at night. Wren reviews a wall of case threads that has updated on their own since close of day. Grace finds her there. Wren, 14 closed cases has generated new directives in the past 48 hours, Grace. Not reopen the closed version as issuing instructions from inside the enclosure status, Grace. Have you seen that? Have you noticed a pattern? Grace, closed cases can issue instructions, Wren. Wren, well, apparently they always could. We just never had a director present to receive them. Grace, what do they say? Wren, pulling the thread. This one says closed 3 years ago, filed unsolved. Have generated a follow-up address in the Western District. This one requests a second witness interview. This one is an address itself to you by name, Grace. It was closed before you were assigned here. Grace, Wren, what does it say, Wren? Continue reading it. Wren, director, the file that explains the other files has always been in the building. You walked past it on your first day, Grace. Grace stared at the wall. Every thread she has pulled over her entire career runs through this room. She walked past every one of them on her first date? She's thinking to herself and talking to herself. Grace, Ren, pull the intake log from my first day here, please. Episode 3, Director Unknown. Sub-level records. Grace and Saul surrounded by boxes of archived memos spanning 20 years. Grace holds one from 18 years ago. Her handwriting is on the bottom of the page. So, the comparison was not subtle. Your letter formation, your line pressure, your habit of closing your lowercase e too tight, Saul said. The smudge pattern matches your dominant hand, Grace. Grace, I was only 18 years old when this was written, Saul. I was a child, still learning. Saul, I know, Grace. Grace, that is impossible, Saul. Very impossible. Saul, carefully. It is also documented, Grace. I have learned in this building those two things are not mutual, exclusive. Grace. Saul plays a recording. A voice fills the room. It was Grace's voice, clearly given a department briefing. The recording is dated 31 years ago. Grace. Turn it off, Saul. Turn it off. I said turn it off, Saul. He switched it off immediately. I'm sorry, Grace. I'm sorry that it's upsetting to you. Or could be disturbing to you also at the same time. Grace, no. Don't be sorry, Saul. Just file it. We're going to understand this. But not today. I do not want to deal with this today, Saul. Saul, what do you need today from me, Grace? I need case 0, the actual physical file, the original jacket. Episode 4. The department closed. Active cases again. Halicone City. Grace walked to the official department building address. Gone from every map. Not demolished, just unregistered. Her phone shows empty lots. The building is standing in front of her. She can put her hands on the floor, but it casts no shadow. Then, wait up, Grace. Wait. I'm coming. Wait up, Grace. Stop right there. I felt this from 6 blocks away. Present. Just not registered as present anymore. Grace. How is it possible, Adin, to exist and not be on record? Adin. Go ask George 12. Remember back there when he was talking to us about the first file, Grace? Yes, then I remember. Inside, every room empty of people but active with process. At the end of the final corridor, a door Grace has never opened. Behind it, one room, one mirror, a label below the frame, department function, active observer. Grace. I see my own reflection. It's me. In that mirror. The department exists because someone kept looking in the mirror. Grace said. Adin, from the doorway, every case we work, every witness who walked in because they needed someone to believe them. The department is whatever that happens. Grace, it doesn't need a building, Adin. It never did. It never needed a reason. And you been the reason since before you knew it. Adin, Grace said. Episode 5, the director position. The condemned branch, Val, Ren, Saul, Adin, Clerk Mar, case 0, sets on the table. A jacket worn smoothly for decades of handling. Grace signs the appointment paper. Then she opened case 0. Grace began to reading. Season 1 intake. Season 2, forecast case. Season 3, off-world complaint. Season 4, she stops. Aden, your case number is here, Grace said. My first day intake, ran pattern log. Saw first archive entry. Every case was filed and a sub-entry of case 0. Can you believe that? We missed all of that? The clues that it was given us from day 1? Grace said to Val, Ren, and Aden. All of this was onboarding, Val said. Grace, all of this was onboarding. You're right, Val. Aden, for what, Grace? So what do we do now? Grace turned to the final page. For someone to reach this page and understand what they are agreeing to carry, Clerk Mar, the unknown director calls terminates on acceptance. The position stops being rehearsed the moment it is held by someone present. Clerk Mar explains. Grace, I did not inherit this apartment. The department inherited me. And now I'm choosing to inherit it back? Clerk Mar, it doesn't make sense. The stamp hit the page, every drawer in every building, the official one, the condemned branch, sub-level 0, clicks open seamlessly, then closes again, gently, one at a time, like a breath release after a very long hold. Director was never a hidden person or conspiracy. It was the role itself generating the authority needed to keep the department alive until someone arrived who understood what they were accepting. Grace was the destination the paperwork has been routed towards for 30 years. Leadership is not inherited by title. It is claimed by the person willing to read to the last page and choose to stay. Director confirmed. Recursion closed. Next case, the one still arriving. The City That Carries Doubt, Season 7. Public notice impossible things. Holliston City Civil Hall, folding chairs, humming lights, and a sign that reads Community Anonymity Hearing. Grace, if the department is going to keep existing through people, it cannot stay a locked hallway forever, Grace said. Officer Den, you are opening doors to civilians. Grace, carefully, partially, enough to stop secrecy from doing all the damage by itself. Val, this violates 12 traditional and at least 4 procedures that I know of. Ren, which is why it might work. Val, Citizen Saeed, are you the people who erased my brother's accident from the papers? Grace, we are the people trying to understand what was taken and what can be turned without causing more harm. Officer Aden, that is the most official way to say we are improving. Citizen Shahid, good, because the city has questioned your file, did not answer. Episode 2, Neighbors of Shared Memory. Scene, West Hallican Block Party turned testimony circles. Neighbors compare memories under string lights. Citizen Kenny, oh, my street. The laundromat burned down in 2008. Citizen Godfrey, no, it becomes a church pantry after the flood. Officer Aden, property recalls show both. Grace, because both versions were true somewhere before the department forced a single story. Citizen Godfrey, you mean we are all crazy right now? Grace, I mean your memories may be carrying sharper from the corrected reality. Officer Den, this is still not a sentence I enjoy saying out loud. Ren, the neighborhood is stabilizing. Shared testimonies reducing contradiction spikes. Vow, so community witness can do what SEAL's archive failed to do. Grace, carry uncertainty together instead of isolating people inside it. Grace said. Episode 3, the support group for witnesses. Basement of public library, coffee urn, paper name tags, and a circle of people who has seen too much. Grace, ground rule 1 that I want to let everybody know at the support group for witness. No one here has to call their experience holy, cursed, or insane. Remember that. Keep it professional. Keep it realistic. Officer Den, ground rule 2. We describe what happened before we explain what we think it means. Witness Wakian. I heard my dead father answer the phone before it rings. Witness Kenny. I dreamed streets that got built a week later. Officer Den, you are not alone. Witness Kenny. Witness Joaquin, are you one of us? Officer Den, I'm trying to be. Joaquin. Grace watches Adine as he says it. Val, the group is creating renaissance. Ring, good renaissance, no departmental renaissance. Officer Den, I spent years thinking surviving meant keeping quiet. Maybe surviving also mean being a witness back. Episode 4, Adine reads the crowd. Night protests outside the old precinct. People chant while memories distort and ripple across the block. Officer Den, everyone stop moving please, stop moving please, stay still, stay still, stay still. Grace, what do you see, Officer Den? Officer Den, too much, Grace, already. 3 futures at once. And once, the crowd panics, and another, the building opens, and a third, someone fires at a shadow and hit a person. That's what I'm seeing, Grace. Grace, pick the clearest one, Den. Officer Den, please pick the clearest one. Officer Den, there is no clear one when fear gets a vote, Grace. Citizen Shahid, tell us what to do then, Officer Den. Officer Den, sit down, all of you. Put your hands where everyone can see them on the table. No running, no shouting. No one follows a voice unless it belongs to someone standing in front of them. Do you hear me? Do you get it? The crowd obeys. The distortion buckles, then settle. Grace, you did not read one future. You coordinate a community out of the worst ones. Officer Den, maybe that is what this gift is for, Grace. I don't know. Episode, the department is open partially. Former records office reopened as a public trust archive. Locked shelves remain, but the front room is full of people. Grace, we are not releasing everything, Officer Den. Citizen Godfrey, then why trust us at all, Grace? Grace, because secrecy without accountability builds the harm we inherited. Because truth without cause or care will build another kind. Officer Den, so then this is a new deal. You do not get every answer. You do get witnesses, contacts, and the right to ask why something was sealed. Officer Den said, Val, I can't believe we are democratizing minorities. Everyone laughed. Ren, you say that like it's not overdue, Val. Citizen Shahid, then file this publicly. as I speak. We would rather carry an honest uncertainty together than be protected by silence again. Do you hear us? As citizen of Oracle City, Grace filed. The front desk printer wakes up on its own and produces a new charter. Officer Den, what does it say, Grace? Community witness model approved. Case 0 remains active under shared care. Officer Den, shared care? I can live with that. The city proves more stable when shared witness than with sealed secrecy, forcing the department to revolve from hidden authority into a public trust. Uncertainties becomes less dangerous when people are allowed to carry it together instead of suffering it alone. Godfrey, I think I remember tomorrow. Adine, take a number, Godfrey. That's the final. Make 2 of us. Okay. Season 8, the last missing explanation. Humanity. Director Vault Sub Level 0. Grace stands before a door that has no handles. Only a slot for printed authorization. She slides the card. The lock clicks. The vault exhales. Cold air as if it has been holding its breath for years. Grace reading. Humanity pending explanation. This has been open since before the department exists. Archivist Soul. File behind her reviewing the case. Grace. Every case we ever worked, the origin spilled, the forecast file, the off-world complaints, a dense vision, they all sub-entries. Every one of them feeds back into the single case number. Saul said to Grace. Grace, we weren't solving separate enormities. We were building a report on one thing, Saul. The archive has written flag on the jacket. Full disclosure may collapse continuity of cause and effects. Handle with partial lights only. Grace, what does that mean, Saul? Partial light. Saul, it means whoever reads the whole file at once may stop being the person who start reading it. Grace said, what? Let's just close it. Let's just close it. I'm not dealing with this today. She set it on the table between them. Grace, then we don't open it alone, and we don't open it yet. Let's just do that. Episode 2, Witness to Different Histories. The department takes Hall, Saeed, Ken, and Godfrey, and Joaquin sits among a crowd of citizens from across Halligan City and the surrounding regions. All of them has filed reports of mutual exclusive childhood memories, and every memory has been verified for physical evidence. 2 people remember the same house in different colors. Both set of photographs are genuine. Ren to Grace Crowley. The pattern office has 38 confirmed cases this week, Grace. Do you understand? These people did not imagine different paths. The paths exist seamlessly, Ren said to Grace. How is that possible, Ren? We found it in a master file index 40 years ago. Before we had any of these titles, the department made a decision. 2 lines were on a collision path. Full overlap would have caused a regional extension evidence. So they blended them, Grace. They merged 2 realities, Ren. They merged the people inside them. Most individuals observe both versions without noticing. Some carried the scene. Joaquin overhearing. So we're not confused, Grace. We're both right. Grace, turning to him. Yes, Joaquin, both right, and I'm sorry no one told you sooner. Kenny, does that mean the department lied to us? Grace, It means the department choose your survival over your clarity. That's not the same as lying, but it's not the same as being honest earlier. Episode 3, the cost of full clarity. An emergency bulletin reaches the department. A Vogue analyst form record division dismissed 2 years prior has published a trench of settled files that has been sealed to a public archive node. Within 6 hours, 3 districts report desynchronization, traffic signal responding to accident that hasn't happened yet, conversation looping before they begin, mail arrive and address to people who moved decades ago. Chief Lenora Voss entered operation again. Grace promotion. I kept these files sealed for 11 years, Grace. Not because the truth was ugly, because some truth require a container or they become a flood. Grace, how bad is this descent? Val. Chief Voss. Chief Voss, District 4 has already lost 90 minutes. People there are living in 2 moments at once and neither one is stable. Grace, a den, looking at the window in the street where a woman is waving at someone who isn't yet there. I can feel it from here. The seam is tearing. Grace, can we reverse the publication? Den? So no, but we can issue a containment narrative. Enough of the world contents to let the affected regions re-anchor. Not the full truth, not a lie, a bridge. Voss, that's what we're always done, Saul. Grace, I know, and I'm starting to understand why. Chief Voss. She authorized the containment narrative. The distinct shows District 4 clock realigned. The women on the street stop waving. She looks briefly confused, then walks on. Episode 4, Director Hearing. A chamber beneath the department, undocumented on any floor plan. Grace is seated at a central table. Around her, and recorded testimony loops projects on standing panels. Every previous director, some familiar from files, some from before the department had a name. They all speak at once, then at one time the archive mediates. Director 1, recording. The policy was protected. Never apologize for keeping people alive. Director 3, recording. The policy was concealment. We built a cage around the truth and called it care. Department 6, recording. There is no policy that eliminates harm. There is only a policy that chooses which harm is survivable. Grace, I read your records. Every one of you faced the same foul. Every one of you made a different call. And every call called someone it was trying to prevent. Director 1, then why do you think you'll do better, Grace? Grace, I don't, but I have something none of you have. And Director 3 said, what is that, Grace? The people who were affected in the room helping decide. Silence from the projection. The archive dims the recordings one by one. Grace continued to write on a ledger. New policy. Explain enough to heal, not enough to fracture. Decide in community. Seal nothing permanently. Review every generation. The chambers goes dark. She walks out crying and carrying the ledger. Episode 5, The Missing File. The vault. Grace returned alone. She opened the Humanity pending explanation jacket. She reads it for a while, a long time. When she looks up, and she the same person, but only barely. Her hands are steady, her eyes are wet. Grace, empty the room. It's not enormity. It never was. It's just what we are. We ask. We forgot we asked. We built system to remember for us. And the system forgot too. She pulls out the blank form, writes several pages. Then she folds the remaining written truth back into the jacket, seals it with her own signature, and stamp it. Stamp partial explanation file. Remainder preserved for future review. Adin entered. He doesn't ask what she found. He reads the room instead. Adin, it is solved, Grace said. Grace, no. And that's the answer, Adin. Adin nodding slowly. Okay. Some cases don't close. They just carry better. Right, Grace? Bao, Ren, Saul, Saeed, Kenny, Godfrey, and Joaquin filed into the vault one by one. Grace places a jacket on the center shelf, not at the back, not sealed behind a door, and reach in review. Grace, the only file still missing is the one that explains why we keep asking. And I think the file is us. Val, so what do you do now, Grace? Grace, turning to the group. Okay, y'all, this is what we're going to do. We stay, we carry it together, and the next time someone walks in with a file that doesn't make sense, we believe them. Are we clear on this one? Yes, everyone say it. The department lights come on full brightness for the first time this series. Every drawer closed gently. The hum stops. The silence is not empty. It is full now. The humanity explaining pending explanation file was never sealed by the department. It was sealed from the beginning, waiting for a director willing to read it and not run. The case was never missing. The department was the case. Every person who walked through the door was evidence. Wisdom is not the courage to know everything. It is the courage to stop carrying what cannot be explained and let other people help you hold it. The final answer is never missing file. It's the same. Someone cared enough to keep looking. The vault is empty now. One light remains on over the center shelf. The humanity file sits in plain view. No lock, no warning stamp. A new intake form slides under the front door. Grace's voice from somewhere off screen. We're open. The lights hold on. Let's keep going. So the more of the season of the story about the missing file department is this season 1 through 8. Season 1 taught that some mysteries are not missing answer. They are quarantine ones. Grace's first days was not the beginning of a new investigation. It was the first time she was close enough to the truth of the department has already known. The origin spill. The moment in the first file were found and the department was built around them, set the terms for everything that followed. Some knowledge is real, documented, and deliberately withheld because release will cause more harm than containment. Season 2 shows the institution preserve order by absorbing the things that would destabilize it. The haunted precinct at Merrill Street was not a ghost story. It was a storage site, a place where cases too dangerous for general circulation were held in the architect itself. Adin's arrival was the first sign that the human body could become what kind of storage. Season 3 reveals that the enormity was never local. Earth was case zero. The first file was not human-made. The department was not founded by investigating strange event. It was founded in response to contact with something that has already decided to communicate. Every case since then has been translation attempt. Season 4 argue that the hardest case are the ones carried inside people. Adin resistant to his own ability was not weakness. It was the residue of a childhood told that perception itself was dangerous. Grace's greatest act as an investigator was not solving a case file. It was helping Adin separate the ability from the theology that has been used to shame it so he could claim it as his own. Season 5 demonstrate that institution did not die when the building closed. The department closure was orchestrated by the department itself. A forced transition to move authority from a location to a person. Chief Voss carried the department for 15 years. When she handed the 32 unsolved cases to Grace, she was not reassigning, she was completing a relay. Season 6 resolved the paradox. The unknown director was not a conspiracy. It was the role waiting for someone willing to hold it without running. Every signature in Grace's handwriting from the before her birth was not a time anomaly. It was evidence that the role shapes its holder backwards through the record, inscribing them into the history they will eventually choose to carry. Grace did not become the director. She recognized that she had always been becoming of her. Season 7 proves that the department cannot survive as a locked hallway. The community hearing in Halcyon City was the first time the institution acts instead of decided. Sahid, Kenny, Godfrey, and Wakion were not participators. There were evidence. The city has been carrying enormities in silence because the department has never offered to share the weight. The community witness models did not solve case 0, it disturbed it, which may be the only form of resolution that does not break the people doing the carrying. Season 8 delivered the final answer, which was not an answer. The community pending explanation file was never sealed. It was always open, always waiting for the director who would read it and not flinch. Then choose not to publish it wholesale, but to file a partial explanation and leave the rest accessible, visible, unresolved on the center shelf. Grace found an act was not closure. It was a decision that some question may remain alive because the act of living with them is what keeps people looking after each other. The arc across all 8 seasons is this. The department was not built to solve mystery. It was built to make sure that people who carry impossible things are not carrying them alone. Every case filed is a record of someone who needed to believe in themselves. Every investigator who stayed is a person who chooses to do the believing and to make others to believe. The final more is not about truth or secrecy or leadership. It's about endurance, surviving, moving forward. We survive not by knowing everything in life, but by staying present with what cannot be fully known at that present time, but also knowing the future that comes ahead. And by making sure no one has to stand in front of the unexplained without someone standing next to them, helping them to believe in themselves. This concludes the podcast story season of The Missing File Department from Our Filtered Truth podcast by Grace.